Started off here, just doing some self-scout work, looking at some of the stuff we're doing. If there's anything we can be doing, obviously there's always things you can be doing schematically to help put the players in a better position and kind of offset tendencies that you find on yourself, and then just get ahead on Denver. So, did that, and then got to hang out with my wife and my kids for a little bit, which was awesome.
How'd you feel about Denver? I mean, they obviously stout in a lot of places.
Yeah, they're a really good defense. It'll be a great challenge for us. I think that they do a really good job with their front. The techniques they play are difficult to handle in the run game. They mix in some run stunts and movements that are pretty good. Vance Joseph's always had a really challenging blitz package, so that's something that's legitimate there. And then obviously they got really good players up front that can all rush, and I think those guys do a good job of rushing and playing off of one another in the form of some of the twists that you see as well. So, I think that they're obviously a really formidable group. They'll be a great challenge for us, but it's one that we look forward to.
Did they get complicated the way they game it up?
It's. I would just say I think that they obviously have a bunch of different things that they can do, but I would say that the thing that stands out to me about them is they just have a very natural and instinctive feel of playing off of each other and how they balance up the rush and keep the integrity of what they want to do. You can tell that all of their players clearly understand the rush plan that they have each week. So that's and they work together, which is obviously a really important thing.
What kind of growth have you seen out of your two rookie linemen, Tanor and Matt, so far this season as they've gotten to play some too?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with where they're both at. They've both been thrust into some big spots early in their career. Obviously, it's no secret we've had three rookies that have all been kind of thrust into action with the injuries that we've had, and I'm really pleased that not one time has it been too big for them. Not one time have I felt them kind of shy away from it or back down. They've been really consistent throughout, and that's important too with rookies. You start to get later in the season. Obviously college seasons are ending. There's everybody talks about the rookie wall and stuff. That's real. Gosh, I remember my first year when I was coaching in the league. I'm like, my gosh, what week is it? So for those guys to stay consistent throughout the way that they have and prepare the way they have, practice the way they have, I've been really pleased with that. And then, it's the challenge, but it's also the benefit of these young players playing now is that obviously they're going to experience some growing pains. There's going to be some stuff that they see where, it's the first time that they may have seen something like that, or that might be the first time that they've seen a player of that caliber. So there's always going to be a little bit of growing pains. There's going to be a little ups and downs that come with that. None of us, myself included, gosh, none of us at our job were as good as we are right now the first day that we did it, or the first time that we did it. You go back to the first thing that you may have published, and you look at that, and you look at what you're doing now, and you're going, okay, well, I've grown a little bit. It's the same thing for these players. So you're living through some of that, but each week what's cool is that you see them grow in some area. And then you always find things that you point out and say, hey, look, you want to make the next step, this is what we got to do now. All right, we've made a jump here. If we want to keep ascending, we got to have to address these two things and get more consistent there. And then that's kind of how you try to structure practice and what you work on with them and stuff like that. But it's been fun for me to see them carry over stuff that we've identified in the meeting room, we've worked on in practice, and that they've put an effort into improving. Then you see it come to fruition out there. That's always really rewarding as a coach.
How do you think Matt has handled the playing left and right side, and what's that challenge like for a rookie?
I'm really proud of him. It's not easy. I think that sometimes there's a misconception that, he's playing the same position as just tackle. It's a radically different world. You're talking about, it's like trying to write with your right hand and then write with your left hand. One hand's your dominant hand one week, the next week it's this other. One week it's this foot's your post foot, the next week it's a totally different even like you're playing the silent count. One week you're looking in here to see something, the next week it's all, everything's flipped. And so to go back and forth from that is really challenging. And I'll say this for Matt too. He hasn't only been playing tackle, obviously now he is, but before that, he was having to back up multiple spots for us. So this is a dude that's had to snap and get reps out in practice at center. He's had to play guard. We also saw him play the one rep. He played at guard in the Miami game when Quentin came out for the one play. He was the primary backup at that position for that week, so that's why he went in. So he's had to play 5 different spots, which for a rookie, for anybody, is really challenging, especially a guy whose first year it is. But he's really tough. He's resilient. He has a great just energy about him and a confidence about him. And man, when you ask him, hey, how you feel about this? I mean, gosh, he doesn't bat an eye. He's like, I'll be good. You go out there and rep him, and he's just a natural football player. He's got really good instincts, really good feel for the game, and I think that's helped him along with how hard he works. So yeah, I've been really pleased with what he's done.
You've got history with Mark Glowinski. Obviously, a lot of the guys here do here as well. What went into him being a free agent, and then just a couple weeks later, he's back in the starting lineup?
Yeah, obviously, I was fortunate enough to spend time with Glow and spend a year with Glow in New York, and just thought the world of him there. I have always had a ton of respect for him as both a player and a pro, and as a person. He is a man. He just cares so much. He's tough. He's a guy that gives everything he's got. This game means a lot to him, and playing here and being a Colt means a lot to him, which I think is a special thing. When playing for the team really means something to a guy the way it does him, it means a lot to him. Listen, we've been going through some adversity during the season, which everybody's dealing with it. Nobody feels bad for you. It's always that's what I look at is when I've talked to you guys before, we talked about depth of the group, and the strength of the group, because it goes deeper than 5 guys. I mean, the amount of teams that get to start and play all their plays with their starting 5 from the beginning of the year, I mean, that's fewer and fewer. The season's getting longer, and man, it's a violent game. It's a hard game, so it's hard to keep those guys all healthy. So the depth that you have is so important. Developing those young players is so important because you don't know when you're going to need them. But you're going to need them at some point. And obviously, hey, we've been dealing with some injuries and some different things. To have a guy like him be able to come in here, we all, obviously, a bunch of the players were familiar with him. I was real familiar with him. Chris and guys that were here with him the first time. So I knew what kind of guy we were getting and the quality of the player we were getting. But what I want to point out is how hard he worked to learn everything he's had to learn in whatever it was, like a 10-day period from when he got here to when he started a game. And it's also a tribute to him and a credit to him how hard he must have been working away from here. Because, I mean, you talk him, he was working out of the gym, just probably working his ass off. And, gosh, and all, next thing you know, you're playing 60-something plays in a game, and so that's hard to simulate. So, and he's coming off of just two practice weeks to get ready for it. So, but that's the kind of worker he is. He is just a relentless worker, and he's a guy I trust a lot, and I know exactly what we'll get from him each week he's out there, and that's the best he has, which is a coach. That's all you can ask for. So, yeah, he's given us a lot.
Is there some institutional knowledge that he brought into him? He was here obviously before. He knows the standards.
Yeah, Glow has the kind of mentality that we want in that room. He's a very like-minded guy with the other guys we have. He cares a lot. Like I said, playing here means something to him. That's important to us. And again, to me, Glow is the kind of guy that embodies playing 5 as 1 and giving everything he's got to get the job done and be there for the man next to him. He does that stuff. That's just how he is. That's how he's wired as a person. That's how he's always been as a player since I've known him. So he already, the familiarity I had with him, but it's just more, gosh, just knowing the guy that you're getting, is there's just never a question about that. And obviously it's helped. I have some terminology that was similar to what we used when I was with him. There's some stuff that, scheme-wise maybe might be a little bit similar to stuff. So you try to kind of bridge that gap with him and make it similar enough to, hey, this was the same as this. This was, to try and convert all the language, because obviously you come in and it's like, whoa, here's this entire playbook I got to learn and all these different things and adjustments. And some of it's totally new. And that's why I said, the amount of work he put in to learn all this stuff and have the grasp of it that he does is just, man, he worked tirelessly to get that done, and that's a special guy to do that as quick as he did.